Michelle, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, we're about ready. We'll give another 2 minutes and then we'll launch and get going.
You doing, Roger? Sean Hurley here.
Hey, Sean, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy
Happy
New
New
Year to you.
Year.
It's going to be a great 2021. I'm excited about it
Me
for a lot
too.
of reasons.
Got to put a little more effort into this business because I got to do something.
Well, it's there to be had, and we're going to be talking about that because there are a lot of people that need us now, and way more so than even in 2020. I mean, I've been doing this business for 25 years, and it it's perennial. I mean, it always works. There's always people wanting to save money, put more money in their pocket. But after we've been through what we've been through, 2020, uh, they don't really have a whole heck of a lot of choice, but to do things
Right.
like what we offer because there's no downside, and they don't have the cash to invest in energy cost reduction projects that cost money, like improvements to existing equipment.
Right. I got to figure out how you guys use your pitch. I've tried through the scripts, and everybody seems to think it's a scam. So I mean, you'll probably get into that, but I got.
Yeah, let me yeah, let's go ahead and start. Let's see. I'm gonna
Hey, Roger, it's Michael. How are you, buddy?
all right, Michael, how are you, brother?
Man, it's good here in Kansas, except it's going to snow tonight.
Oh wow. Oh, no kidding. Yeah, I'm wondering here in Atlanta if we're done with it. If we're just done with winter. It's like, I mean, the 60s today, I think. But I'm gonna mute everybody. I'm going to give an overview, and then we can jump in with any questions anyone has got. I'm super glad Michael is on the call because he's had a recent terrific success, and I want to talk about that a little bit. But let me do that. I'm going to mute everybody, and I want to just say, in general, 2021 is going to be a great year. Now I say that we've got to roll in that too. We've got to make it a great year. Uh, it's not just going to happen, but all the pieces are on the board to have a terrific year. And everybody knows that. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. We've got a 2020 that was horrific for a lot of companies, and they're trying to pull themselves back out of the ditch, and we can help them do that. Is our solution a 100% guarantee that you're going to save money every time? No, it's not, because first of all, it would not be ethical to provide a solution where we knew 100% that we were going to be able to save them money and then go in on a shared savings basis. So we go in with the premise that we don't know. We don't know exactly what we're going to do, but we think there might be some savings. Let's take a look and see. The customer's always in charge. They can make these decisions to go forward, or they don't have to. But this is not a hard business. It is definitely a simple business, but it is highly dependent on volume. That's no different in with UMG energy and utility cost reduction, uh, or anything else you and I will ever do in our lives. The more we do, the more results we're going to get. Just that simple. But these businesses really need our help. We can go in and we can offer this service with be proud of it, with a clear conscience that we're going to do our best to save people money, and there's absolutely no risk for them. My basic proposition to anybody that I've ever talked to about this business is we're going to do everything we can to reduce your utility costs, which are probably the biggest cost next to human resources, employees, and expensive employees. Biggest costs that most businesses have. I mean, they're going higher and higher and higher, and people don't know what to do about it. We can bring that market intelligence, that 25 years of experience to bear on their problems, and hopefully we can reduce their costs. Uh, we're not asking them to we're not asking them to give us anything other than their utility bills before we actually sing for our supper, before we produce results. So it's a very strong proposition, and it's about to get easier for you. Michael, who is on the call, has already started using this video in a limited basis that I'm going to send out to everybody. Michelle is going to send out to everybody when we're off this call. And it's a video by me that explains how this is done, what we're doing in a very clear, concise way. It's not, but I think it's under 2 minutes, but it means you don't have to feel like you've got to explain other than I've got an opportunity that you may want to look into. And once we get people to respond, yes, thumbs up, then you can send out my video and let me explain it. So you're not having to go into the details. What it's going to eventually lead to, unless you've just got a solid lead who just wants to move ahead, you don't obviously have to send a video of me if that's the case. But if somebody doesn't quite understand, then this is a great way to explain it and move them on to the next step. It's something that can be used either with a warm contact, semi-warm, or even a cold contact. You gotta warm up every contact a little bit, and but you can send this video out and it will explain exactly what we're doing and allow them to make that next step. We've got a couple of email templates that we're going to send you out with it that you can send to the prospect with the video. It's got the video embedded in it, which I think is going to be super powerful. So your job then becomes just to make a list of the people that either you're in contact with, who you know, either family members, friends that have businesses that could benefit from our service. Or if you're reaching out cold to people, that this same kind of thing, we just got to get permission to use their email. If you are reaching out to people that you're doing business with, which I always recommend, because we can save for different businesses that all of us buy from, like car dealerships, churches, and we're not buying from a church, but we're interacting with a church and we're patronizing a church. So we've seen people in our programs that have been able to benefit churches a lot. So once we send this out, it's going to make it a heck of a lot easier to broach this subject and to get it going. I'm super excited about it. And we're going to be offering more tools like that, more emails that you can use to get things going. So you don't have to feel like you're going to reach out on a phone call right off the bat. I'll do that heavy lifting for you, and we'll just move it on to the next level. What you're adding to UMG is tremendous, because these people, or you're warming up the relationship. We can't go in there. We don't know them. This is a very much a relationship driven world now, where people are not going to open an email from me if they don't know me or they haven't heard from me before, but they will you. So we can benefit each other, and we can benefit the customer. Now I'm just going to go over just a little synopsis too. Just make sure you understand exactly what we're after. And of course, we want to add bottom line money to the business. We want to save them money, and we want to add bottom line money to the business. Why are we able to save them money, you might ask? And Sean mentioned people think, well, what is this? I don't understand. Is this some kind of scam or whatever? People are hypersensitive to that now. But I want to convince you, after 25 years of this, it doesn't take a whole leap of logic to be able to understand why this is not, there's nothing nefarious here. It's very simple. Businesses do not take the time to look into these issues for a couple of reasons. They don't know they exist. They don't know how, and they rationalize that I've got other things to do. This is not going anywhere. And we see it all the time. A lot of the money we save for clients are based on things that they know about. that they haven't done. And let's, I'm not pointing a finger at businesses. That's just human nature, because how many things in our own lives, I mean, you think about the expenses that we have as individuals, whether it be a mortgage or a car payment or credit card, little charges and things. We will see them on our credit card statement, or we'll hear about some way to lower our mortgage, and we'll say, well, we'll get around to it tomorrow. And we all know that there's money to be had there. We just rationalize not doing it. With a larger company, especially, you got people that are paid a salary. They don't get any upside for pushing these issues. So there are just loads and loads of opportunities within a business, not just with utilities, but with every category of cost, for that reason, that basic human dynamic of not, I won't say lazy, but not being incentivized to go out and make these things happen. They're not all easy. They take some time, and that's what we do. There are very few of them that are just, you put the card in and out comes the money. It's not like an ATM machine. Utilities are quirky entities. They are very bureaucratic. At one time in the not too distant past, they were all governmental, and you probably know what that means. They're slow to change. They say no if you ask them simple things like what time it is. They love to say no. And we do the rope-a-doping. UMG will do the rope-a-doping and get it done. It doesn't matter to us if we see the money. We're going to take months and months, whatever it is. But the great thing for us, for you and me, and the company too, is that once these savings start, they go on and on and on forever. I have money that I've saved for companies.
Michelle Norman says step-by-step training.
That I have money that I've saved for companies that back in the 90s, and I'm thinking of one in particular, a paper company that I saved approximately $800,000 a year for. They've been receiving that money every year for 20 years. After I got out of the picture, after I built them, got out of the picture, they are still saving that money. So it's powerful all the way around. It's no mystery why there's money to be saved here, because these utilities have programs, people don't follow up on them. But that being said, is there a savings in every category? No. The customer's in charge, though. That's the big thing. The customer is in charge of implementation. All we do is recommend to the customer what we think from our experience needs to be done. We can't make any changes for them. The utilities won't change anything unless they instigate the change. So anybody that has any qualm about what we're doing here, we're advisors. If the company does not want to do it, the utility's not going to do anything that we suggest as consultants. They are totally in control. So the way we do this is, pardon me, by lowering electricity, gas, water and sewer, and solid waste hauling costs. Solid waste is a huge category that we can make money and save money for a customer in almost any category of business. The bigger businesses, sometimes we will be able to win for a customer in every category, but trash is usually one that we can just across the board. All we need is a recent invoice, like an electricity invoice is generally what we ask for in order to evaluate it, make sure we're not wasting anybody's time. Our basic agreement is 50-50. We split it going forward for 60 months. And we do a 50-50 split on refunds. That usually, in 90 some odd percent of the cases, that sounds like a great deal to almost everybody. And I mean, even very large companies, because it's fair. It's 50-50 is deemed and seen as a fair deal. Do we get that in every case? Some companies push back. Some of them just push back for sport. And so we will accommodate if the account's large enough. But depending on how well you know them, we are open to doing a phone call with. I will do a phone call with them, and we will pull them over the edge and make them clients. Or if you feel like you can, we don't have to go to that trouble. If it's somebody that's really close to you and they get it, we just need to move forward. And you can reach out to us and just say, hey, they're ready to go. Just this is we can just have the agreement signed and be moving forward. Now there are two things that we're going to send you though. That like I said in the beginning, are make it a heck of a lot easier. This email sequence and the video from me. So the way we're going to be successful is by sending that out a lot. The more we send it out, the more successful we're going to be. The other thing is we have a certification now. If you want to take advantage of that, we're calling it Clues, and some people may already be familiar with it, but Certified Local Utility Expense Strategist, Clues, and we will send you that if you request it. And all you have to do is go through the materials again and take a test, and we will send that certification to you. And that's a confidence builder. We all gain confidence by challenging ourselves. So that element is new to UMG. If you want to, just reach out and ask for that, and we'll get it to you. Now, I just want to go over a couple of little success stories that just show you these folks. And I would say these folks are like you and me. They're just people that know other people, and they reached out and asked, and the company said yes. We got an agreement with them. Orion, who is not on this call, is one who, and these are all active. We're in the process of implementing these right now. And this is in Colorado, and we've got, pardon me, three elements. There is a waste element. There's also a natural gas solution, and also electricity that we're able to save. It's going to be approximately $40,000 a year in savings. So the partner commission on that's $25,000. Now, does that all come in one chunk? It can. What we always do is we try to get a payoff as quickly as we can. We'd rather not string it out. Some companies would rather pay it by month, but we're always going to ask, would you like to wrap it up in one neat little package? And most of them do, because we'll offer them a discount. It makes it easier for us if we're not having to bill them every month. So that's worth getting it in one neat little package. And also it decreases a lot of risk for us. The business could be sold, or they go out of business. Unlikely things, in my experience over 25 years, but things that can happen. So I'd rather take that off the table and get a one-time payoff. Now, Michael, who's on the call, he's got a terrific story, and this was a manufacturer in Kansas where he lives, and they're going to save over the space of the agreement approximately $100,000, which is just absolutely tremendous. Did it happen with a click of a finger? No, it's taken a little while. It's in place now, and we're about ready to start billing. Matter of fact, we will bill them this month. But Michael's got a fantastic attitude about this. He's like, he's exactly the way all of us need to be in approaching these customers, which is we try them. We don't take it personally if they don't go along with it, but we just move on to the next one. And it's going to pay off tremendously for him. It's going to pay off tremendously for the company, and all involved win. It's just what we've been about for 25 years, exactly the same protocol. I'm gonna give you another example of Bryant, who is not on the call, but
Roger,
yeah.
it's Michael. If
Hey,
I could
Mike, go ahead.
if I could just give Sean a little bit of encouragement.
Yep.
This company that we approached, I had to approach the CFO. The owners were out of town. They travel most of the year for business, but the CFO came from another company out of Kansas City, and he said, well, this won't do any good because we had XYZ do that survey and study a year and a half ago, and they didn't get us any savings. And I said, well, we're not going to recommend you get new neon lights. We're not going to recommend any of that kind of stuff like that. If you'll send me one energy bill, like let's try the electricity to start with. I said, we'll see what we can do. I said, there are no guarantees in this business.
Right. Yep.
And he said, hey, I can't lose on that one. Well, then when I sent him the engagement letter, he tried to cut me back. He said, 60 months. He said, normally I only do 36. I said, well, your 36 got you 0. If we can save you some money, the 60 is going to get you something. He said, you're right. I said, you're already paying that money to the utility. So he signed the 60-month agreement. Roger did his work he does, the great work he does. We came back and I told him what the savings was. He said, gee, evidently, he said, I couldn't believe it. So Sean, I had been no with that company for 4 months. No. Now Roger has a great video he's going to share with you all that's going to even make the door open better. But I've sent that video out since Monday 6 times. I've got 3 appointments. One's going to call me back tomorrow for an appointment. And I guarantee you we'll hook at least 50% of those customers.
That's fantastic.
So just don't give up. What you've got to ask them is, because what I run into here a lot back here is, well, we tried that and we didn't get any savings. And I said, if you didn't get any savings, you had the wrong company looking at it for you. Give us a try. It doesn't cost you anything. And guess what? They finally said, yes, let's go for it. So anyway, don't give up. Roger's got a great new video coming out, and you just keep, I mean, I've got appointments lined up from now through the end of February for this thing for the new year. I mean, it's just incredible how just, once you get it, it boomerangs.
Yeah, I love hearing these success stories. Roger, I have a quick question for you if you're taking questions now.
You say Michael or Roger?
Roger.
Okay, Roger. I'm out, Roger. It's all yours.
I just saw that Roger left. I saw that he's a new host.
Oh, well, the question I had, and maybe Michael can answer this. That's a great story, Michael. I love hearing success stories like that. When he was talking about, you know, getting the savings up front and getting paid out in one shot, how do you determine what that savings will be over 5 years? Is it based off of one month of invoice?
Maybe everyone's left.
Hey guys, this is Michelle, Roger's assistant. Can you hear me? I don't know what happened. Roger was on the call and then some other person came on. Okay,
Roger's back.
Roger's back. Okay, never mind.
Roger's back. I'm unmuted, but Roger runs it through a format, and he'll tell you what happens from his side of it. Now you're back on.
Do you mind if I ask my question again then, Roger?
Please go ahead.
Okay, so the previous story you mentioned was you saved that company in Colorado money and you proposed getting paid up front. How do you determine what that savings over 5 years or 60 months is based off of one invoice?
Can't hear you, Roger.
Roger, you're muted. I think you have to unmute yourself, Roger.
Oh, now I did it.
Got me now?
Okay, yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah, so what we do is we project out what we think the savings is going to be. And we just tell them, this is what it was this month. This is what it was last month. If it's okay with you, we're just going to project out and offer you a discount that we think you will like for paying it off in one fell swoop. And 80-90% of them, I haven't really done a study on it, but the vast majority of them will go along with it. Some of these bigger companies are forced to, if you offer them a discount, they're forced to take it. Pardon me. So we always ask. Not all of them go along with it, and if they do not go along with it, what we do is we just set them up on a routine where it's the same every month. So we don't really want to get their utility bills and analyze them every month. That's a pain for everybody involved. We're chasing them. Please send it to us. Hey, how come you didn't send it last week? So we'll estimate it. We'll say, hey, the savings was $1,000 and our invoice to you was 500, just for example. We're just going to set that up on automatic, and then we'll audit it or get the utility to audit it at the end of the term, and we'll make adjustments in the last month for whatever it actually is, whatever the savings actually was. So I have several of those that are just on automatic pilot like that, but we're always going to try to get a payoff. It's just a payout from over however many years and be done with it. That's what we'd prefer to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's perfect. And actually, I've got a meeting with a friend of mine. He runs a asphalt company, and
Oh, nice.
they're spending about $30,000 a month on gas. And I said,
Ooh.
same thing. I can't guarantee we could save you anything, but it sounds like it's worth a shot.
Heck yeah. And that's the premise we want. We don't want to give anybody the impression that it's just like sign the paper and you're going to save money. That I just don't think that would be right to, if we knew we were going to do it, to charge somebody half of it. It's the fact that we don't know. We're going to do our best. We're going to work hard. We're incentivized to find things, especially with these bigger companies. They've turned over a lot of rocks. I mean, the bigger the company, really the better, because most of the incentives are offered for these giant companies, and they don't take advantage of them for the wrong reasons. I see it all the time where they're not doing things. They'll talk themselves out of it. I can't tell you the number of times I've had companies, they'll tell me, just like Michael was talking about, where they'll say, hey, you're not going to find anything here, or I just don't get it. I don't see how you find anything. Well, look, we can't make any changes on your behalf. First of all, we can't do that. So you're in charge. We're not asking for any authority to make any changes on your behalf. All we want to do is be in a position where we can recommend things. And if I present them to you and you don't like them, we can just shake hands and part friends. You're in charge of the whole conversation. And usually if they have a conversation with me, they're going to be fine and they're going to go along with it. I'll be able to defang any fears that they have. Yeah, so you see, if they have any qualms, get them on the phone. Get them on the phone with me, and we'll get it done.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you considered? I know this isn't regarding a client, but yesterday I was talking with somebody he was a CFO of a hotel, and he didn't like the fact that my email was a Gmail account, and then assumed that it was a scam. And I even said that, I even went as far as saying, I'm going to go out on a limb to say that Roger will talk to you if you're uncomfortable with.
Sure. Of course I will.
Right.
Of course I will. I mean, there's some people, Jennifer, and I've run into them, like these super giant companies, who will say things like they're checking what's your email extension. I mean, the vast majority couldn't care less. They know business is transacted by multiple parties like this. But get them on the phone with me and let me do that heavy lifting. Just say, hey, I just suggest just have a brief call with Roger, and if you want to go forward after that, fine. If not, then that's fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually he actually told me, do not contact me again. But I'm actually going to send him the video. I'm going to give it one more shot and send him the video, and I just don't think you really got a clear understanding. But my concern, it made me feel better asking you just now that I won't have any or shouldn't have any problems with my Gmail account, because that was kind of a concern to me after
I've
he
not
said
had
that.
that. I mean, I'm not going to tell you I've never run into that because I've had these big companies, and I rub my hands together with delight when I see them, because I know if you're that messed up with and you're that focused on where the email's coming from,
True.
I know there's savings there because you're not doing a whole bunch of other stuff right too, because you're majoring in minor things.
True.
I always find savings with companies like that. But no, I mean, it's been a handful. I mean, of the hundreds and hundreds of companies I've dealt with over all this time, there's been less
Okay.
than, I would say certainly less than 10, maybe even less than 5 where I've gotten anything like that.
Awesome.
Most
Thank
most of them, people fall in 2 categories. Either they like shared savings, or they like performance-based contracting, or they don't. There's some people that don't. Not that many of them, but some people have had a bad experience, or they just don't like the concept. They think, I had one guy tell me one time, hey, no, I think everybody should be just paid by the hour or a flat fee. I don't care what they're doing. Well, that's not the way I'm going to be paid. Sorry, I want to be paid for my results.
Right.
And that's what makes this business so much fun to me, is it's a thrill when I save somebody some money. I had one, I'll tell you real quickly. This is a guy up in Minnesota, and a referral partner brought him in, and he had somebody look at his stuff before, his utilities before. Matter of fact, we got him on the phone, and he said, you're not going to find anything. He said, I've had 3 people like you come in and haven't found anything. And okay, all right, well, maybe I won't. Well, I ended up finding like $165,000 a year
Wow.
in savings. And yeah, he was like, he couldn't believe it. When somebody tells me something like that, I'm never taken aback by it, because I know there are people out there that will do what we're doing. They do it in a very casual way, and they'll come in and hit it a lick, and they'll like glance at bills and go, no, nothing there, and they'll move on. They're looking for one little tiny thing. That's not the way we do business. We're turning over every rock. I look at these accounts like they're my own. There's nothing more thrilling to me than saving somebody money, and it's just fun to create that savings. It never gets old. So we're going to keep looking. We're going to keep, and it's not just like uh, today and done. I'm not going to tell you, hey, I'm going to look at these bills, and tomorrow you're going to get savings. I'm going to keep looking at them and digging and digging. Do we find it every time? No, but I find it a lot more than most other people, and that's why.
All right.
But the great thing about this business, and I'll tell you this, it's very it's easy to get complacent about it. Once you get some savings in place, and you're getting paid over months and months and months and months. I've had times where I've thought, gosh, what did I do for these? I can't even remember what I did for them, and I'm still getting paid for it, because the annuity goes on for 5 years. So it's easy to get complacent and go, I've got this money coming in, but you got to be continually
Right.
going at it and get more. That's why I say it's a volume business. You just get a little bit more comfortable with it. I think this video is going to be a game changer, and give me some feedback on it. If people are getting it, if you want to see improved video, longer video, shorter video,
Okay.
we're going to get you the tools that you want and you need.
Okay.
Can I give you
Thank you.
feedback on this Zoom, because this is almost like an accountability tool for me. We all get busy with our regular jobs, and I know that the opportunity is here. But
Yeah.
I love this Zoom call.
Okay.
It puts it to the forefront for me again. Sometimes you get a little discouraged. You hear, no, it's a scam, blah blah blah. But hearing these success stories and Roger, you reiterating the fact that it works, and it's got me energized again. That's
Awesome.
my 2 cents.
Awesome. Well, that's where I want you to be, because we can all help a lot of companies, and we make money together through this. And I promise you, just think about, if anybody goes like, I don't see how you're going to save money. Well, if you just think about it a little bit, how just human nature is, we just don't take advantage of everything that we can. It's I made the proposition one time, the company that I worked for, the last company that I worked for, uh, they wouldn't let me do it. I went to my boss and I said, how about if you just stop paying me and let me take 10% of anything I save in this company? Just that's all you got to pay me. If I don't save anything, you don't have to pay anything. Just pay for my health care costs and that. And he laughed at me. He said, we'll never do that. I knew I could go into any business, and you could too. If you agreed with what I'm saying, and you went in there with the attitude that I go into these businesses with, you could make a fortune in almost any company if you had 10%, if you just took 10% of correcting their inefficiencies. It's so rampant and so pervasive. US business, Canadian business, we waste so much money in this country, especially on these utilities. It just does not have to be.
Roger,
Yes, ma'am.
David has a question. I'm kind of answering it, but I'm going to go ahead and bring it out so everyone can see it. David asked, what is the typical time frame from a business signing an agreement and handing over a utility bill for them to see their first monthly savings and us seeing a payment?
Excellent question. It is, there's no easy answer for that, but because of what I was just saying, that sometimes we have to turn over a lot of rocks, and we don't have control over. And Michael will attest to this. Is Michael still on the call? Michael, I think Michael. Yeah, there's Michael. Will attest to this. You're at the behest of the utility. You're at the behest of governmental entity or the business when they want to get back to you. So that's the major stumbling block. Is you can't get demanding with these entities, or they'll shut you down, whether it be the company or whatever. So the majority of the time that it takes to get something done is communicating with all these parties. That being said, the actual savings can be done in a week. In most cases, it's getting the parties involved to respond that takes a while, and that can take 6 months. I'm working on a big project right now with a referral partner, big sawmill. We've saved them approximately $112,000 a year. We've got another element that we've already saved them that. We're adding on to it another one that's going to be somewhere in the $5,000 a month range. We've got another one that's going to be in the $8,000 to $10,000 a month range. I've been working with them. The referral partner brought them in back in March. And I'm still pushing to get it done. Nice thing is it's going to be a cash flow stream for everybody involved as soon as we get these things done. And I know it. I'm not taking a back bite or discouraged in any way, because I've been dealing with these companies. They're all basically the same. They've got other stuff to do. They're not just trying to frustrate us. They've got other things to do, and these projects just take a while. So we just hang in there. We get results. So to answer your question, the mechanical part of savings we can get done probably within a week or 2 weeks. The communications with all involved can take it can take months, 6 months. It just all depends. Well, I tell people, surprisingly, people don't really ask that question once they're inside. The companies are never going like, how come you guys haven't gotten results quicker? Because this is a nice to have for them. None of them are looking at it like they hired us and they're paying us money and we better get this done in a hurry. So it's not a stress point. But I know you're asking, like, how quickly can we get paid? We can get quick. The ideal scenario would be that you follow the and go after the main accounts that are the simplest to make money on, that if you don't have it, we'll send that to you in the email too. It's a grid, it's a spreadsheet. Those that we can typically monetize in a month or so, if everybody's playing along, meaning if you give me an invoice today, which is January 6th, then we can probably, in a lot of cases, have the savings in place by first week or two in February, and we can probably invoice the account in March, meaning we will get paid roughly 30 days after that in April. That's the ideal scenario.
Roger,
Yes.
it's Michael.
Hey, Mike.
As let me tell David that the slowness is not on Roger and his staff's part. We waited for about 6 weeks for the head electrician to give us one simple answer on the project we were working on.
Yeah.
Once we got that, Roger had the answer the next morning. He got that about 4 o'clock in the afternoon next morning. He had everything for the company that they needed. And we'd waited on that for 6 weeks, David.
Yep.
One simple answer.
Hey, everybody, that's outstanding. I appreciate you bringing that up, Michael. We're gonna wrap up the call right now, and Sean, we're gonna take your feedback to heart, and we're gonna have more of these. So be on the lookout for an email with the replay of this Zoom call and these resources that we've been talking about, the video and so forth. And yeah, we'll mention clues. If you want to do the certification, just reach back out to us, and we'll get that to you as well. So take care, everybody. Thanks for your time. Looking forward to working with you in 2021.
Thanks, y'all.
See you
Thank
now.
you.
Bye, guys.